Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror Hell-o-ween, the podcast where Alec and Joe are going to be covering every single Hellraiser movie leading up to Halloween. So today we are covering Hellraiser 8. This is Hellraiser Hellworld, which was again directed by Rick Boda and came out in 2005. I'm your co-host Alec, and joining me through another layer of Hellraiser is the one and only Joe Testa. Welcome back, Joe.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
And here we are. This is technically 7 days in. I don't know if you noticed, I have not shaved since we started the series. So this is my Hellraiser beard, which I'm going to keep until we're done.
Nice.
So yeah, it's getting gross. This is not how long I usually like it. But that's what this movie, these franchise is doing to me, though. It's making me just like, I don't know, neglect hygiene. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
Yeah, you started out young and hopeful and
yep,
handsome, and
yep.
then look what this franchise has done to you.
Dude, literally, that's what I'm going for. Yeah. So now in the eighth one, here we are, and I always knew about this one because of the poster. I was like, oh, cool, like a Matrix Hellraiser movie. Like, is it gonna be like they infect the whole world through the internet? Like, I was excited. I was like, what is this one gonna be?
I mean, who wasn't asking for a Matrix Hellraiser crossover?
That's kind of what I thought. I mean, I knew not like Neo and stuff, but I thought
Yeah.
like they were gonna. You know what I kind of thought it was? It was gonna be like The Ring, but with the internet and
Mm.
Cenobites. Like they were gonna use that to like get to everybody's computers and like take over the world.
Yeah.
So
I mean the little subtitle on the DVD box, it
yeah,
says "Evil Goes Online," I think.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you were absolutely right to make those assumptions, but boy, were you wrong.
Oh man, yeah. Didn't love this one, but
You
gotta
don't
say
say.
it's different though. I'll give it credit. It's different than the last three because those have all just been like detective mysteries,
Hmm.
like looking.
Yeah,
This one at least is a little different, a little bit.
definitely.
Um,
I mean, you said in a previous episode, the Hellraiser series has never, it probably never appealed much to a teen audience,
yeah.
and I definitely think somewhere along the way, those discussions were being had at, Dimension or wherever, and they said, what haven't we done, or what is going to sell more DVDs? And yeah, I mean, of course, a teen kind of slasher Hellraiser movie.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like 'cause this came out in 2005, and it feels like they took Halloween Resurrection and kind of like, I don't know, in a weird way, did what Matrix Resurrection did a little bit, where it's like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
like where it becomes meta and it's like, oh, the Matrix is actually a video game that you can play and everybody in the world knows about it. And you're like, oh, okay. But this movie like didn't commit to like what
Right.
it was. So I was like, does it take place in our world? Are Cenobites like actually real and then somebody made a video game about them and the video game became really popular? Or are they watching the movies too? Like I didn't know what the fuck was going on in this one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about the new Matrix movie, but I was thinking Wes Craven's New Nightmare,
Yeah, that
you
too.
know.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like I've seen this movie a few times,
Okay.
and this one maybe more than any of the others, I'd probably have, well, not that I've seen it more, but
Oh,
more than I'd probably have difficulty explaining this one, or at least, what happens, why it happens, what world it takes place in. I'd have a lot of trouble explaining that to somebody, much more than some of the previous ones. And even some of the previous ones are, you know, just like, I mean, but anyway, can I kind of paint the picture of what it was like for me to see this movie for the
yeah.
first time?
Please, please.
So I've mentioned in previous episodes that I wasn't keeping up with the series. After
Yeah.
Inferno, I kind of gave up and I knew they continued. I'd see them at the video store. But about, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, I'm home at my apartment. It's around Halloween time. and I just have on, I don't know, maybe AMC Fear Fest or the Sci-Fi Channel or whatever.
Yeah.
And this movie starts right from the beginning. And I remember seeing, in the credits, Hellraiser, Hellworld. Which one is this? And I just kind of am going about my day. I don't know if I'm cleaning my apartment or what, but I'm not really watching, but it's on, you
Yeah.
know? And every now and then, just my attention gets pulled to this movie. I'm just like, what is that? Was that Lance Henriksen?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? And then like was it like Pinhead with a meat cleaver? And video game, what? I'm just like every now and then, like I can't help but just kind of like sit down and watch 5 minutes and get up and then come back.
Yeah.
And I will admit, and I'm not proud of it, I don't believe in guilty pleasures. But this one is kind of a guilty pleasure for me.
Well, it
You
sounds
know,
like
and
if you get like snack bite like versions of the film, it's actually more digestible than watching the whole thing.
I think that is the only way I could recommend watching this movie.
Yeah.
Not, you can't give it your undivided attention the way I did, last night. But I do think there are things. We'll talk about it as we go, but there are things I like about this movie, and I think
Yeah.
I appreciate. I feel like the kind of teen slasher vibe they're going for is just a little bit more up my alley than the kind of poor man's David Lynch they've been doing these past couple of movies, you know?
No, I agree. And I'm glad they tried something different, definitely. I
Mhm.
just was like really confused at the end. I
Oh yeah.
just like there's so many plot holes that I was kind of picking apart as it was kind of unfolding the ending. And yeah, I don't know. It's sad that this is Doug Bradley's last performance too, because like it's not even clear if Pinhead is even actually in this. Well,
Yeah.
he is at the very end, I guess, but otherwise it's like, are these
Mhm.
all just hallucinations that they're
Right.
having? So yeah, I can see why he was like, I'm done, guys. Like you don't care, I don't care, we all don't care. Like let's just move on. Like I'm done.
Yeah,
Um,
and it all feels so out of character. I should have written down what his last line was because it's some kind of like
I know what it is.
Freddy Krueger. Oh, okay, go ahead.
It's how's that for a wake up call?
Oof, that's a doozy. Yeah,
And he didn't
yeah,
even kill the guy. He didn't kill Lance
yes.
Henderson. His little side Cenobites did.
Let's
So
put a pin in that because I have some things to say about that. That whole climax of this movie is just really something. But yes, it should be said this is Doug's last go round, and I mean it's always good to see him.
yeah.
But yeah, the way Pinhead is used here is just feels so out of character, even more so here than maybe in any of the previous ones.
Yeah. So before we jump into the plot a little bit, I just want to say like it is interesting, and I think you know a little bit about this, that this was released like back to back with
Yes.
what did we do? Deader yesterday, right?
Deader,
Deader, yeah.
yes.
So it's always back to back, which is like weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of common actually with a lot
Really?
of direct-to-video horror movies. They just kind of want to squeeze as much, you know, get as much bang for your buck as you can.
Hmm.
While you're there, shoot another movie. Kind of going back to the old like Roger Corman school. But I'm thinking about like Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 were done
Yeah.
back to back. I'm sure there's others, but yeah, this and Deader were shot within I think 3 months of each other, like October to December of like '03 or '04.
I can understand them being shot back to back just because they're like, hey, we got the crew together, we're in,
Yeah.
Bucharest or whatever. But to release them, weren't they were released like the same year
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah. They were yeah, I believe they were both released in '05, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of weird that you wouldn't think they'd be like, we got to like extend this interest a little bit and not
Yeah.
just kind of because I mean, to me, it feels like a Pokemon Red and Blue thing. It's like they're
Mhm.
kind of like you just released two of them at the same time. I guess I don't know. Maybe they're just like, let's just make money right now and get it over with. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew more about like what the kind of behind the scenes issues were with the rights because that
Right.
might be why they're doing these. I mean, at least so quick and cheap.
Yeah.
That's what everyone always said was so that the Weinsteins could retain these rights. I don't know like if they had to have a movie out every couple years or what the details were on that, but
Okay. That's what I was
That's
gonna ask you. Did you know what the year length was that they had? Because it seems like that's why a lot of these were getting made at this point and onward is like we're gonna lose the rights, so we have to
right.
make something. So
Well, we
what's
have
that,
a
five
pretty
years?
good, maybe it's something like that. We have a
Yeah.
pretty good gap between this one and the one we're talking about next week.
Right.
And I know that was a real rush job, and we'll get to that when we get to it.
Right.
But I think that was just over 5 years, so maybe around 5 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's very interesting. It's the same director, Rick Boda, who not a huge fan of his work so far, but yeah. And this one has absolutely nothing to do with any of the other ones. Totally brand new cast, all new setting, just like, hey, it's a new movie. And it starts off at a funeral. Or no, it shows up a guy killing himself basically.
Mm.
And you're like, ooh, what is this? Like he's digging a grave, like, oh, what's going on? And then he lights himself on fire. I don't know if they show that in the beginning or not. I can't remember. I know they show it
Yeah.
later. He puts the candle on himself. Um, and then it cuts to the funeral. And already I'm looking back after finishing it, and I was like, where was Lance Hendrickson at the funeral? He wasn't even at his own kid's funeral. Like, what the fuck is
Mhm.
this? So a group of friends all meet at the funeral for the guy who killed himself like 5 seconds ago in the movie. And they're like, Adam, our friend, oh no. And for some reason, they like blame themselves because he killed himself because of this video game that they're all obsessed with, Hellworld, which is a Hellraiser game. But they never show any of the games. You're like, what even is the game? Like they show
You,
like one
you,
little clip, but it's like that's not a game.
yeah, you'd think we were in store for like something like Brain Scan, right? Which we
Yeah.
we we talked about recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, you will be shocked to learn that we don't see this game. The game plays no part in the rest of this movie. And even I actually watched some special features on the DVD, and they were kind of informative.
Oh yeah.
But even on the when the director spoke about the movie, he even seemed a little confused as to whether the game was a game or a website. I think he seemed unclear, and I continue to be unclear even after seeing this movie quite a few times.
Yeah, because they make it seem like it's like a World of Warcraft kind of game, but for Hellraiser, and that these people are
Hmm.
so addicted to it and they get so into
Hmm.
the lore that this one guy commits suicide, and all of the friends are like, "It's our fault. We should have known he was going to do this."
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
okay. And we get a stupid little jump scare where, the lead woman, I guess, goes up to the casket and he's like, ah, and then, whatever. It's like 2 years later. You're like, oh,
And I am somewhat grateful that that's one of the few times in this movie, until, well, it's one of the few times where a character, something startling happens and they wake up from a dream, until the end and we find out the whole fucking movie's a dream.
yeah,
But
yeah,
spoiler alert. But I
yeah.
am grateful that this movie doesn't do that as much as some of the previous movies
Oh
did.
my God, dude, me too. The one with the Allstate guy. I was like,
Oh,
what
brutal.
even is
Brutal.
this? It's just
Yeah.
all, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of dumb they blamed themselves. I don't know. I just felt like that was really stupid. And there's that one outlier guy, Jake, who's like, it really is your guys' fault. And it's like, but it's my fault too. I'm like, guys, this isn't your fault. Like, what are you talking about? Um, but this movie came out in 2005. World of Warcraft, I think, came out in 2006. So
Hmm.
I guess you kind of already answered it. What do you think they were trying to emulate in this at this point?
It's a good question. I know this movie was based on some sort of original short story. Obviously, it didn't begin its life as a Hellraiser sequel.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Weinsteins were always good for, aping whatever was trendy. But the thing with doing that is by the time you get your movie out,
yeah.
it's that moment is past.
Right, right.
Even kind of having this Matrix type uh, poster art, by '05, like
Yeah,
as a
right.
huge Matrix fan, I feel like the wind had kind of blown out of the sails by the end of '03, you
100%.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, what they were going for here, yeah, with the video game, yeah, I'm not really sure and it doesn't even matter because it's more of like a haunted house slasher movie at the end of the day.
Right, right. The only thing I could think of, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying right now and then throughout the few episodes we've done, about how the wine scenes are like, this is popular, inject this in here now. So, do you remember the game EverQuest? I know you're not a big gamer.
Yeah, no, I
It
don't think
was
so.
it was like one of the first big MMO games. It came out in like 98 and it was big, up until about when World of Warcraft came out. And it was kind of like the first World of Warcraft, like the first big one. And in 2002, a kid did commit suicide from playing the game. And it was like I looked up the news report today actually because I remembered it because my dad wouldn't let me get EverQuest because of that story. He's just like, no, people are dying from that game. Like, and the way that this kid died is like he was neglecting his health and it was like malnutrition and he like was living alone and whatever. But I was wondering if like maybe they took that plot, that little news thing and tried to inject it into this like a game made somebody kill themselves. You
I
know?
think you just nailed it.
Okay, that's the
Absolutely.
only thing I can think because that article
Yeah.
came out in like 2002 or
Mhm.
3. So it's not like too far off from when this movie was coming out at least, or at least maybe going in production. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds right.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Mhm.
little weird, real world weird tidbit. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, then we get into the movie, and the first little thing I noticed, I gotta stop noticing these little things. But I've told you, like every movie I watch, I always look at the license plates to be like, where does this one take place?
Yeah.
Starts off, dude. They pick up this girl, okay? It says New York, and then the next shot when they're on the highway, it's a European plate, and I was like, oh, these guys don't give a shit. They don't give a shit.
Oh, nice catch. That one got by me. I mean,
Yeah.
as if you couldn't tell we're in Transylvania. Like it's just like you could just tell by the streets, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It
But
doesn't. Yeah.
but again, I do feel like even though we are supposed to be in New York, I mean, because the cops at the end have NYPD patches on, so we're somewhere in the city. I mean, when
Uh,
we're in this mansion. But anyway, I'm not going to get hung up on that. I will say, I feel like, much like last week, I feel like this is a pretty good looking movie. For a direct-to-video horror movie, I feel like it's got some nice atmosphere. It's obviously they shot this towards the end of the year. We got some nice foliage, and
hmm.
if I'm giving out compliments, I'll give it out to the kind of look of the movie. I think I
Yeah,
could I could kind of dig it.
it does have a little bit of a saw filter, it feels
Oh,
like.
sure, yeah. We'll
And
get more than a little bit of Saw a little bit later.
yeah, exactly. And that's another thing where it's like, oh, okay, Saw came out in 2004. They're like, get that something in there. So
Hmm.
yeah, no, yeah, like I think the mansion aesthetic is cool. It kind of reminded me of the remake a little bit of like a big mansion, and there's like this creepy guy in there and stuff like that. And yeah, they do a good job of making it feel like this is in the middle of nowhere. It's 2005, so most people seems like don't have really cell phones, at least in this movie. And then they get
Hmm.
these like shitty Nokias, which felt like hardcore ad placement or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, so it's like it's kind of cool. We've got like Henry Cavill and then two other dudes and this blonde girl and a British girl. I can't remember any
hmm.
of their names.
No.
And and they're all just like horny, annoying teens that are like, we're obsessed with
Yeah,
video games. And I'm like, I don't believe any of you play video games, especially in 2005. None of you.
yeah.
Like you're way too like hip to be playing these kind of games.
And also, they seem to have gotten over their grief about their dead friend and
Yeah.
his obsession with this game. They got over that really quick. And also, there's this little moment that I found really annoying where Henry Cavill scares our lead by wearing
Oh,
a chatterer mask.
yep, yep.
And it's like it's the mask that the actual chatterer will be wearing later in the movie. It's like they used the real prop.
Yeah.
I found that really ridiculous.
Dude, it's
Like,
probably what we were talking about in Deader, where he's like in the background, kind of,
yeah,
because they probably used this mask. That's like
yeah,
making more
mhm,
sense now, because they're like, well, keep him in the background so it doesn't look
right,
that good. And then this is supposed to be a mask, so it's not supposed to look that good.
right.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's so obvious later when we do see Chatterer, it's just the mask that Henry Cavill is wearing, you know?
Oh, God. Yeah, Chatter got done wrong in these
Yeah.
movies. He
Yeah,
really
we
did.
got more sorry ass Cinnabites in this one.
Yeah, dude.
If you count like when Henry Cavill becomes like a zombie, and I don't know if you count that really.
Yeah, I get like they're even worse than in Hell on Earth, like those like half-ass
Yes.
kind like at least those ones had like a little personality. Yeah, these are just like zombies basically.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you're right. So that scene where Henry Cavill comes in and he's got the chatter mask on, and then they have this just like let's like go to this Hellworld party. Like, I know a friend
Yeah.
died from it, and like we've all been playing it, but like, like fuck it, let's go. And then there's that one friend, Jake, who's just like, it is all your guys' fault or whatever. And I love when they get to the mansion, like, you guys don't think like Jake will be here, right? And all of a sudden Jake walks in like, bummer. And what are you doing, Jake? How you been? He's just like trying to forget the past. It's like by coming to this party, like it's so bad.
Yeah.
Um, but like, honestly, it's kind of funny to see Henry Cavill. Like you can see he's a good actor, even
Yeah.
with like the worst dialogue ever. Like
Yeah,
he's still
absolutely.
like
And
decent.
this movie amongst Hellraiser fans is pretty despised.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it seems that way. And I could understand, you know, if you're just kind of really irritated by this movie because these characters are awful. I
Yeah.
could, to me, like, especially after I feel like it's kind of a refreshing just change of pace
Yeah.
from some of the previous movies. But I could understand between these characters and just kind of the way Pinhead is treated and just kind of a tossing out of the whole kind of really dark and somber tone that we've talked about with all the other movies. That kind of all gets tossed away in favor of something much more mainstream Hollywood, for this movie.
Yeah.
So I could just see this being like, you know, someone's least favorite. But for me, I'm kind of going with it.
Yeah, this one it feels like much more in line with Hell on Earth if it's like more of
Hmm.
like a slasher kind of movie. But I don't know. I mean, like, Hellraiser's got a real protagonist problem because, like, the only one is Kirsty or whatever. I guess the Joey from part three or whatever. And then, I don't know. I feel like since Inferno, I guess I've pretty much hated every lead in these movies. I guess the one in Deader's like decent. She's not too
Yeah.
bad. But like for the first
Mhm.
time for them to attempt to have like teen protagonists, because even I guess Kirsty and them too are, but that doesn't really feel like there's like teen friends, like teen group of friends being assholes. These people
Yeah.
suck, and
Yeah.
they just don't. I don't know. They're not relatable. They're all like the archetypal 2000s horny teen douchebags.
Yeah. I
What
want
does
to
this
know
party
what.
have to do with the game, too? It has nothing to do
Right.
with the game.
Right. And it's just full of Romanian extras that are supposed to be New York kids, I guess, but
It was like the
Romanian
scene.
extras.
Oh, I'm
Go
sorry. Go
ahead.
ahead. Well, scene from Deader on the train. It felt like that
Yes.
just like amplified for the whole house.
I'm sure it's probably many of the same people.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I just would just be fascinated. Like, what was the direction? What did Boda say to these kids? Because I feel like the direction was probably something like, just act like you're in kindergarten. Like they're just so immature. Like when they
Yeah.
go into Lance Henriksen's office
Hmm.
and they're just kind of like touching things
Yeah.
and just being super annoying. Like these kids are like they're supposed to be like college age.
Yeah, and you've got like Henry Cavill like like
Yeah.
about like the nurse photo or the
Yes.
nun photo. Yeah. Yeah, they're like insufferable.
Yeah.
The only one is Jake, but he sucks too. He's just very like brooding and like, I don't like these guys. I'm looking for this girl I met online. I'm like just like leaving them alone. But the other four, yeah, they're children.
Yeah.
They're like, don't insult the men, take a drink. Like they're yeah, really annoying. Oh no, that's the next one. Yeah, but they are all talking about getting laid. I mean, that's what this party is. This is just an
Yeah.
orgy. This isn't like a, Red Bull sponsored gaming event. Like, no, this is just like literally an eyes wide shut with like cell phones. It's so bizarre how this is, I don't know, a very popular game. This is one of their events, and it's like in the middle of nowhere, and you're gonna be fucking, and there's a lot of nudity. The second you walk in, there's girls just taking their boobs out, and yeah, it was weird. It
But
was
then
weird.
again, everything that happens after this moment pretty much doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So Lance Henriksen spikes the drinks he gives them in this scene, and the movie progresses, but later we find out from here on, he takes their bodies into the front yard of this mansion, digs up what, five or six graves, puts them in coffins, puts cell phones in the coffins with them where he'll be able to communicate uh, and kind of walk them through these nightmarish scenarios and they'll just kind of dream it because it's kind of like hypnosis they're under. Like I want, this is what I want. I want a special feature on the DVD where I could watch that version of the movie, where I could just watch Lance Henriksen go through all this and explain the movie to them on his Nokia phone. And I mean, it is just insane. Like
Yeah.
that's what we're supposed to believe.
I mean, it's all insane, but also from a technological point, how do they answer the phone? So does
Yeah,
he like because he's calling each of them individually and walking them through their story, sort of thing. And we see a glimpse of it later where he's like doing the voice impression when he's in the woods and he's just like, help me, please help me. I'm in the house or whatever. And it's coming through as the Chelsea girl voice or whatever. So we see
yeah.
kind of like what that would look like, but we never see him be like, and then you walk into a room and there's a chair and there's like a buzzsaw thing in the chair. And she's like, oh my God. Like she's not, yeah, but to your point, yeah, that would be what he'd be doing the entire movie is explaining to these four people or five people, this is what's happening to you. And hoping
Why not
hoping
just
they're even
make
seeing that because he doesn't even know what they're actually seeing.
exactly? Why not just make it re like why not have what happens in the movie be happening?
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah. There's
know,
there's
why
no
do they
point.
have to why do they have to do this every single movie where like nothing you saw happened? You know, like it's like three or four movies in a row now where either it was a dream or they're in hell or it's
Yeah.
just like really frustrating when you're watching a movie and just nothing matters.
You're totally right, and this one is of the last four we've watched, the one that doesn't need that at all. Like it
Yeah.
truly could have just been Lance Hendrickson is getting revenge on these kids. He figures out a way to get them all there and then kills them one by one. That's it.
Hmm.
Just make that the fucking
Yeah.
movie. Um,
Yeah.
because it even convolutes the ending even more when the police come. They're like, "We got a phone call." It's like, "From who?" And they just like look at the window and there's nothing there. And they're like,
Right.
who called then? The police, because you were all under the spell, right?
So
It's so confusing, dude.
I think it's implied the nun that got
Oh,
mentioned earlier.
I never would have get dude, because you do see her walk for 1 second, and you're like, what was that? And
Yeah.
then you never see
I
her
think,
again.
and honestly, I don't think before this viewing I caught that.
I
So
didn't. I definitely didn't.
this movie with repeat viewings, it rewards, I
But they
guess.
don't show her in the window, do they? Was that her? Or I didn't see anything. They just pan up to the window and it's like, what the fuck? There's nothing there. Maybe she was there and I didn't see
I
it,
think they
but
might show her. I think they
okay.
might, but I can't say for sure.
Oh God, yeah, because like the hallucination thing, which is insane, because this must mean that this entire room is just coded in this, because Henry Cavill gets it, I think, from touching the card and getting the ink on it, right?
Oh, okay.
I
I was trying
think,
to think who drew it. Don't they toast or something?
yeah, they
Or maybe
could. You're
not.
right, because they do the drinks, and Chelsea's like, I'm the designated driver, and Jake's like, I don't drink, so. He's like, no
Mm,
problem, like, don't, no pressure, whatever.
yeah.
And they all do drinks. But then you do see the girl spray herself with the perfume. You see
Oh, yes.
Henry
Yep.
Cavill touch the thing. So I'm like,
Yes.
it was everything in this room just meant to fuck
Laced.
them? Yeah, because
Yeah.
then he's like, whatever, they don't have to do the drinks or whatever. So was it even in the drinks?
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know. And
We've talked about some elaborate like slasher plans in the past with like I still know what you did last summer, like buying the airplane tickets to
yeah.
Bermuda or the
The radio
Bahamas.
show thing.
I
Yeah.
mean, this might even have that beat,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Big time, dude. Big time. No, this movie makes no sense, and it's yeah, it's even stranger that we're supposed to believe this is like a best friends. It's a group of best friends. None of them know who their friend's dad was. None of
Yeah.
them met Lance Hendrickson or saw a picture of him or anything ever. So when they meet this guy, Lance Hendrickson, he seems like he's throwing the party, and he's like, "I'm here to have fun, like everybody, like get loose or whatever." And then he brings them down to the basement, and then yeah, drugs them, and then so the three of the five are drugged right now, but the blonde girl is not. And then they all go down to the basement. So those three are drugged, but the other two aren't. But they're still walking and acting normal. And then he like takes a friggin' nail and stabs the blonde girl, and she's like, ah. And then everybody's like, "Are you okay?" So it's like that didn't happen, but they're already drugged. because they just did
Hmm.
the drinks and everything. So I'm like, nothing is adding up here. Um, so, but the nail part when that's in the basement when they're like looking at like the fetuses and all this crazy
Yes.
stuff. Yeah, like the Lance Henderson just stabs the blonde girl with a needle, and that was apparently a dream she or whatever she thought. And Jake still has nothing. Nothing has infected him. He gets infected later when he finds the lament configuration and the nails go through his
Oh yeah.
hands. That's how
Hmm.
he gets.
Oh
So
my God.
he's not drugged at all, and all four of them are. It doesn't add up. Like things just
Yeah.
don't move in a way that you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Um, but if you just put all that aside, I guess the individual kills are decent.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it kind of reminds me. I mentioned maybe in yesterday's episode that Rick Boda was the DP for House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
And this movie kind of reminds me of that. And I
Yeah.
kind of like that movie, and I feel
Yeah.
like it has a kind of a cool visual style. So it kind of reminds me of a direct-to-video sequel to that. And yeah, we get some kind of Saw-inspired kills, or at
hmm
least one.
Yeah, the buzzsaw thing felt
Yeah.
very Saw.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that. He's just like, don't worry, it's not engaged. He's like, now it's engaged. It's like, okay. Um, yeah, and then you get like randomly Pinhead cuts off that guy's head with a cleaver, he decapitates the guy. But you're like, well,
So,
it wasn't Pinhead though.
yeah, so in the special features, they talked about how I think a producer on this movie worked with this actor on another movie, so they had a cast of his head.
Oh,
So they
lucky
brought him in
him.
for this movie. So
That's
just to
lucky.
give you an idea of the penny pinching that was going on for this
Holy
movie.
shit, dude. That's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then Henry Cavill's death is pretty boring. He just gets a hook through him and like, swung on a chain and hook. And
Yeah.
then the last like 20 minutes, this movie felt long. Like it felt like it should have ended a couple times, but by the ending it's like Chelsea and Jake are like separated and they're getting phone calls and oh, there's a great like Henry Cavill blowjob scene.
Oh,
And
yes.
you're like, is like by the logic of this movie, Lance Henderson is like, and then like, she's blowing, but then her mask is like scary, and
This
then
is
she's gonna
the
ask you to go down on her.
I want the version where Lance Henriksen is just explaining all of this. I
Yeah,
just
because
want
that's what's supposed to be happening.
Yes. Oh my God.
With him having no way of knowing what they're seeing still. So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, because the whole movie they're in coffins with this tube like breathing out and they're hearing on the phone, which they have to answer. This isn't, I don't even know, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so then they're separated. The cops come. She somehow calls the cops, and dude, that is especially the guy that she finds in the woods when she escapes and runs out. That guy's was
Speak
100%.
I speak on that because I wanted to bring that up. Go
That
ahead.
dude's not American. That guy was
Oh
not
my God.
English.
No, 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 no. I have a theory about that scene. I don't think any audio was recorded. I don't think her
Mm.
voice is hers either.
Even hers?
I don't think so. Because and I think that's common because they probably knew they knew they were going to dub that actor. He probably sounded like Count Dracula, so they're like, why bother, why brought, and it looked freezing out there. They're like, why bother having sound, when when we're just going to, we're going to dub him and we'll
Yeah.
just dub her too. And I'm
Oh,
not sure if it's the actress's voice because it didn't sound like it.
okay, I was way more paying attention to the guy. I
Yeah,
will say, I thought the James Gandolfini looking one might have been American, like the bigger
maybe.
guy, but
Yeah.
the other guy in the woods, like you could tell, like it was on his face when she was talking, so that his mouth wasn't moving, and then other time it was cut to him, and then his mouth was not matching up, and the radio was
Right. No,
everything.
it was so obviously ADR'd, and that's what made me, I think, that caught my ear. And then when she spoke, I was like, that doesn't sound right either.
It could have been.
So
It
I feel
definitely
like they didn't have sound that day.
the
But
whole
no, they're
thing.
they no, I do think that some of the cops were American. Like
Yeah,
I don't like there was at least one guy, yeah, there was like a big guy
yeah.
that yeah, he didn't seem like he was dubbed.
Yeah, because they're like Lance Henderson comes out and it's like, hey, we need to like search your house or whatever. And he's
Yeah,
like, I'm throwing a party. And it's like, well,
yeah,
we need to go in there. And it's like, I don't know, I think she's on drugs. And he's like, huh, she does sound like she's on drugs. All right, well, continue to have fun. Maybe meth or crack or something. And it's like, you need to go in there and look. Like,
right.
what the
No.
fuck? So they just leave. They just leave.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm trying to remember how it kind of ends. Like Pinhead kills the cop, but how would the cop die? Because the cop's not drugged, or was it just this is what she's seeing? This is okay, right? Never mind.
We do get one karate kick that comes out of nowhere.
That was it. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The Busta Rhymes karate kick.
yes, totally. And another little tidbit. This is back when you got useful information from special features on physical media.
Yeah.
Um, Apparently, that actress is a black belt in martial arts,
Oh, that's cool.
and so they wanted to work that in. I don't think, do they ever like set that up? Like, I don't
No.
remember them ever saying. I mean, there is one guy that's coming on to her, and she like grabs his hand, and I mean, maybe that's kind of a setup that she's tough, you
Right.
know. But yeah, they never really set up that she's a martial arts expert, and then she does this roundhouse kick.
Yeah, she kicks Lance Henderson like off a banister. She's like,
Right.
"Hey, like suck my dick, asshole," or something. Like kicks him. He
Yeah.
just dies, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, And then, oh God, what happens? Because they wake up somehow. I can't remember
Yeah.
how they
Yeah.
wake up.
So the girl and Jake survive being buried alive.
Because the sunset or the sunrise line. He's like, I promise you a sunrise or whatever when they're on the phone.
And the rest are dead. They died. One Henry Cavill died of fright, we find out, and the other girl clawed at her neck. She was dreaming that she was getting like buzzsawed, but she like clawed at her neck, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
And then the other guy, I guess, choked on his own vomit while while Lance Henriksen was explaining the movie to them.
yeah. It's a real problem, this movie. The
Yeah,
cops come though. They save the two people, but by then at that point, Lance Hendrickson is gone. So was the party was real though, right? The party, the
yeah,
people that were there were real. Where did they all go? Weren't they seeing Lance Hendrickson carrying bodies out and digging
yeah.
graves?
Digging for
Like,
what must have been hours, and then
yeah.
hours of explaining the events of the movie. Yeah, I
Dude, there is so much easier way to kill these kids because you, for some reason, blame them for
yeah.
your son committing suicide from because he accessed the lament configuration. Like,
There's
this
just
isn't
an
their
easier
fault.
way to write this movie. Like
Yeah,
even
yeah,
even if you want to keep all this nonsense, like maybe they just kind of wake up in a basement tied down
yeah. Just
and
saw.
yeah, like and they've been having some kind of dream. Like the idea that he single-handedly carried them all outside into the front yard and putting them in coffins, like what?
Yeah, like whose house is this?
Yeah,
They say
yeah.
it's
Oh,
Lamashar or him, right?
yeah, there are some references
Yeah.
to Hellraiser lore every now and then. But the question I had, what connection does Lance Henriksen have to the Hellraiser game? Because they're playing the game on their computer, and that's how they get invited to the party.
Right.
Did he
So
hack the game, or did he invent the game?
that would make less sense because I feel like then he would blame himself. I'm imagining
Right.
that he played it out of spite and got so good that it became like the moderator or something. Because like how, yeah, you're right. How does he make this happen?
Right.
Because the game has been established. Because yeah, you're right. If he created it, he should blame himself then. Or
Yeah,
go after the creators of the game. Don't
for
go after
sure.
your fucking kids' friends. Like
Yeah.
it is, yeah, this is bad. But it ends too, like the cops come, they save Chelsea and Jake, and they look up at a window. The nun's up there. I didn't see the nun, but it makes sense. The only thing that makes sense. Um,
I can't be sure.
no, but
And
it's the only thing that makes sense
yeah.
because otherwise it's like they just look up at a blank window. And then Lance Henderson escapes. So he's just like in a hotel room smoking cigarettes, like I have the lament configuration. And then Pinhead and his two little buddies come out and they cut him in half. And
And
that's
you
it.
could tell like they are out of money. Like like they probably went over budget on Deader, with that whole climax with the cult leader, which was pretty
Yeah.
good, like all the chains,
Yeah.
because they really do Lance Henriksen dirty here with some like Snapchat effects of him getting kind of sliced, and then just the pieces of him falling, and oof, yeah. I
And
mean,
maybe I'm wrong, but I think this is the only one where we don't see Pinhead get like defeated, I guess, because like he's not even like, in it. Like he doesn't have
yeah.
he has no.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even a supporting player, I
Yeah, because
mean,
most of the movies is hallucinations,
right.
and then this final scene is like, oh, I'm gonna kill Lance Henderson now. And this is where the movie should have ended, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
And it goes to the car of Jake
right.
and Chelsea driving, like, I love you. Like, what should we do? It's like, let's go to like Miami or something. And
Yeah.
then they just turn around and Lance Hendrickson's in the car with them. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, why not just cut to credits? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I
yeah.
guess they had Lance. They're like, let's just shoot one more thing. Shoot one more thing with him really quick.
Yeah. Sweet God.
And it's funny, Lance wasn't even supposed to be in this movie. He just happened to be in Romania. And like the director ran into him.
Oh
He's like, I,
my
I think,
God.
if you want to hang around, I might have something for you.
Oh my God. He's like, it's really cheap here. I'm saving a lot of money. It's like it makes sense. Yeah, this was it's not the worst, but I didn't love this one. But
No,
this is what I
that's fair enough.
expect at this point. It's really sad this is the last time we see Doug Bradley. Like that
It is.
sucks.
It really is. I mean, uh, to be clear, this is an abysmal movie. In some ways, I feel like it it makes like the least sense. I really struggle with why anyone thought like why anyone made some of the choices they did behind the scenes of this movie.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, this movie kind of has a special place in my heart. Maybe because of
Yeah.
the first time I watched it, which was probably the best way to watch it, just kind of scenes here and there, you
Mm.
know. So like I said, don't really believe in guilty pleasures, but this is kind of a guilty pleasure for me. And it will probably, when we rank these, it'll probably rank embarrassingly high. We'll see. We'll
Bears
see.
is like number one.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you probably wouldn't know then because I'm trying to imagine in 2005, like Fangoria having like a, like two edition, like Hellworld, Deader, or yeah, because both those came out back to back. So I'm just trying to imagine, was there anything going on?
It's funny you ask. Like, I wasn't reading Fangoria as often, like I
Yeah.
read it through the 90s and then in the early 2000s every now and then.
Hmm.
Um, but I would have been curious. Like, it's funny you say, because I actually looked up, Fangorias from this time to see if they definitely didn't get any cover stories. Like in none of these movies got cover stories. But I
Ah.
would be curious to go back to see what kind of coverage these movies were getting at the time.
Yeah, just because I don't know. To me, it seems unique that they would have, I don't know, not trying to like elongated the having a yearly release, doing it two in the
Mhm.
same year. I don't know, whatever. Well, Joe, you got any last minute thoughts on Hellworld?
Uh, no, I think we covered it.
This could have been like a theme park movie. Like
There's
Hellworld could have been like a, evil theme park.
there's so many ways they could have went with this, and they
Yeah.
went like the most difficult, nonsensical way.
Yeah, I know they
I
like
don't
made
know.
it more difficult on themselves and
Yeah,
made a
that's what I
worse
mean.
movie as a result.
That's what I mean.
There's-
Like, yeah, you could have whoever wrote this one, you could have gone easier on
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah.
you know?
And everybody would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Oh God. All right. Well, we're not done yet. We still got a couple more. So, everybody, thank you for listening into our discussion today on Hellraiser Hell World, and we will see you tomorrow with Hellraiser Revelations. Oh boy.